one of our most anticipated destinations this year was Yellowstone National Park.
However, Mother Nature had different plans for us.
Yeah,
and that's where Plan B came in, and Cody, Wyoming was part of our Plan B.
But did Cody Wyoming live up to our expectations?
We'll have to see. Hi, my name's Dan.
Hi, I'm Dina, and we are Reverse to Ridges RV.
We had plans this year, and we really were really anticipating Yellowstone. We just love Yellowstone. And we really wanted to stay in Gardner, Montana. If you're not familiar with that, it's really the northwest entrance to Yellowstone. It's really right on the border. We stayed there a couple of times. We just love the area. However, you may be aware that Yellowstone had some major flooding in the middle of June this year, and it actually wiped out complete highways, complete roads. And the road from Gardner into the northwest entrance to Yellowstone was completely wiped out. So our plans had to change. If we wanted to see Yellowstone, we had to come up with another plan. And this was a last minute plan, so our options were really limited. What we decided to do was we got a place in Cody, Wyoming.
Never been there before.
Never been there before. Now the downside to it was it's about an hour and a half drive just to get into Yellowstone.
Right, but we were able to get into Yellowstone.
But we can get into Yellowstone. It's better than not getting into Yellowstone at all. And Cody's on the eastern side of Yellowstone. We've never been in the eastern entrance to Yellowstone, so it did give us a chance to go into eastern entrance.
Different.
Something totally different. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Cody, Wyoming, some of the things we were able to do, some of the things that we did outside or surrounding Cody, which, well, I'm not going to, it won't be a spoiler alert. We'll just have to hang out and see if we really enjoyed ourselves in Cody.
Definitely.
So once we first got to Cody, I think the very first thing we did was go to the visitor center.
We did.
And
what a visitor center. They had so much memorabilia there and so much you could learn from just right there.
Well, we learned from one person, right?
Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Hey, Connie. Fantastic.
If you go to the Cody, Wyoming Visitor Center, ask for Connie. She gave us more information, more pamphlets, and we knew what to do with.
Yeah, she gave us more
she gave us a full itinerary. It was amazing.
We told her, she asked how long we were going to be there. We told her 2 weeks, and she was like, well, let me load you up.
And she did.
And she did.
And she had some very good tips for us. If you're not familiar with Cody, it's a very small town. It's a typical, something you'd probably expect, like an old western town. Very low key. It is a little touristy. But it's fun. It's very low key. The people are awesome, down to earth. They're just cowboys. They're just good people and a lot of fun.
Really good-hearted people.
I guess actually the first thing we did in Cody, after talking to Connie at the visitor center, we went to a place called, is it Trail Town?
Old Trail Town.
Old Trail Town. And what this is, and thank God for this, somebody years ago decided to try to save some of the Wyoming history, some of the history around here. So what they did was they took some old cabins, some old saloons. These are what you picture in an old John Wayne Western movie, and they put them all in one little area, kind of like a little road basically. And they preserved everything. And the stuff we saw there was just amazing. We saw Butch Cassidy and the Sundance's Kid, one of their hideouts. We saw a saloon that they used to go to.
The Hole in the Wall Saloon.
The Hole in the Wall, well, it's the Hole in the Wall Gang.
Hole in the Wall Gang.
We saw one of their hideouts that was preserved. Something else that was really neat there was Custer, Colonel Custer, one of his Indian scouts. I think his name was Curly. Because he had curly hair, believe it or not. Curly had a cabin built for him. He had his own cabin. That cabin is still there. So it's very interesting. So cool. The history, the stuff they were able to save. Yeah, and I think a lot of my guess is a lot of the local folks
they
donated too, because there was so much stuff there. They were running.
One of the ladies working there told us that they have a lot of donations coming in, and a lot of the stuff that they have is donated, and they are very grateful for it. But she also told us that they're actually running out of room.
Yeah.
They have like a storage unit full of more, like that much more memorabilia.
Covered wagons.
Yes.
And
that they're going to be trying to expand so they can put all this stuff in there
really,
too.
Really. And one of the things that I thought was kind of cool with all this, you may remember the old movie Robert Redford was in it, called Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh yeah.
It's about a fur trapper. That was actually based on a real person called Liver Eating Johnson.
Yeah.
I won't go into all the details how he got his name, but you can look it up. He's actually buried here. He's actually buried and part of this town. And there's a few others. About 3 or 4 other people, local characters, I'll put it that way, that are buried there as well.
I think there's a few more than that even, but
very, very cool town. It only costs like $10 to get in. I think kids under 5 and under are free. And there's a few little discounts. I think military, senior citizen, but for $10 a person, it's a place you're going to go and spend maybe 2 hours.
We were there. We were there a little bit longer because
I get into this kind of stuff. Yeah, it was.
But yeah, you can definitely do it.
Cool. Yeah.
2 hours, I would say at least, because there is a lot.
Yeah, and it's open all during the summer, and again, it's called Old Trail Town.
I think it's open May to September.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
If you're in Cody, it's definitely worth the stop.
Definitely.
So something else we did while we were in Cody, and this is a place I will never forget, to be honest with you, that was that amazing to me. And it was the Wild West Museum. It's the Buffalo Bill, I think, Museum of the West.
It's Buffalo Bill Center of the West.
Center of the West? Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. And what it really is 5 museums in one. And it costs $23 per person to get in for an adult.
Yeah.
6 to 17-ish, they're a little bit cheap. I think it's $16 a person. Again, 5 and under.
Or free.
Active military or veterans, there's some discounts there as well. Now the nice thing is, and you really, really need to do this, that one-time ticket is good for 2 days. And it's
You'll need it.
It's supposed to be 2 consecutive days, but they don't. They usually say, we asked them and they said usually within the same week they're good with it. You will need to go at least 2 days.
Yeah.
Now the 5 museums, if I can get these right, the Buffalo Bill Museum, the Plains Indians Museum, there's a Cody Firearms Museum, there's a Natural History Museum, and a Western Art Museum. So those 5 museums, we spent...
And how fantastic.
Yeah, there wasn't one bad thing.
Not one. Not from walking in the door and being greeted by the workers there, volunteers, whatever they are, to it's a beautiful museum. Just to be in the building.
And out front, they have a chuck wagon out front where we ate some biscuits and beans that were cooked in what do they call that? What they put in the ground? French oven.
Yes.
They're actually very good. So if the cook's out there, make sure you get some biscuits and beans too.
Oh man,
that was really good.
I'm glad you remembered that. That was good. And just talking to, it's usually a cowboy that's out there. A lot of history. And just talking to him.
Very interesting.
Oh my goodness.
The food pretty much was up to the individual cook, because when the ranch hired that cook to cook, he did everything for the chuck wagon. He ordered the food. He made sure the wagon was good shape to go out on roundup. He hired help if he was going to have Little Mary helping. And out on the roundups here, a lot of times cook had Little Mary to help, and Little Mary a lot of times may have been 6'4" and maybe weighed 300 pounds. And it was always a man. I've never read about any lady chuck wagon cooks or lady helpers, but that's what the cowboys called the cook's helpers.
Really? Okay, that's funny.
This is an awesome place. If you love I personally love the American West and the history behind it. But if you had kids as well, there's so much to see.
So much.
What really got me, we spent most of our time in the Buffalo Bill section, and then also the Plains Indian sections. Now, personally, myself, Buffalo Bill, his whole showman stuff, I don't really care too much about that piece of it. I like the earlier history, you know, how he got his name when he was a scout or, you know, buffalo hunter and stuff like that. That I found very interesting. The Plains Indian section, we probably spent most of our time
there.
And this was just unbelievable. They had things like Crazy Horse. They had, I believe, one of his peace pipes. I think they had a hatchet from him. Some of his personal items was
attire,
in this.
Dress, you know,
yeah, they had hand painted like deer hides and things. And there's one in particular, and you may have seen this if you're into history at all. There's kind of a famous deer hide, and it was painted by one of the Indians that was in the Battle of the Little Bighorn, Custer's Last Stand, and it depicts the whole battle. So basically, it's hand painted, basically all the soldiers, you know, dead, you know, and it depicts the whole scene. That is there in this museum, and it really is. And we actually, later on, we actually did go to the Battle of the Little Bighorn, so it kind of puts everything in perspective, and it's just unbelievable. But for the kids too, you know, they have full you know, Indian, you know, headdresses, outfits. Buffalo Bill had a lot of his outfits. We saw more buffalo coats. It was just unbelievable. Full
preserved, like some of it was just the condition. Some
was
of this,
amazing.
Oh my goodness!
Buckskin clothes. It was really neat.
Unbelievable.
So that's the Museum of the West, Buffalo Bill's Museum of the West. If you're in Cody, it's a must-have. It honestly is.
You have to see it.
I'm not really big into art, so we did go into the art part of it, and I was pretty impressed. Oh, I don't think we could afford any of it, so we had to sneak a couple pictures. Put a couple pictures on. But the art museum was just unbelievable. Just some beautiful pictures in there. Well, so definitely the museum is definitely a place to go.
Yes.
If you find this kind of stuff kind of interesting, you like more of these videos, please hit the like button. It's very important. It helps YouTube know that people enjoy our videos. They'll promote them more. Also subscribe, and also make sure you hit the notification button as well, so you get notified when our next video comes out.
We really appreciate it. It helps us out, and we would like to continue making these videos, sharing them with you guys. So please do so.
Now, kind of tying all this together, Buffalo Bill, the city of Cody, Wyoming, which was named after Buffalo Bill Cody. There's a hotel in town called the Irma, and this is definitely one of those places. It's a historical, you know, building. It's one of those places you're gonna want to go. If anything, go into the restaurant, have a drink. You got to sit at the Cherrywood bar, which we'll talk about in a second here.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable. But again, the Irma Hotel, it was actually Buffalo Bill's hotel, and it was named after his youngest daughter, Irma, who was born in 1886. And Buffalo Bill, I believe he spent, it was like $80,000 back in 1902 to fix up the hotel and everything. And he actually stayed in the hotel.
He built it,
He actually stayed in that hotel when he was done touring for, I guess, for the season, or he'd come around to Cody. He actually stayed in the hotel, and apparently he was the man back in the day, and everybody wanted to be around him. So when he was in town, the hotel was packed. It was the place to be, honestly. But one of the things in the hotel is the Cherrywood bar, and we sat at the bar. You kind of have to sit there and just look at. It's amazing. But it was a gift to Buffalo Bill from the Queen, and it was
Queen of England.
He did a show over there, and she appreciated and enjoyed the show so much. She had this Cherrywood bar built for him and shipped over, and it's in the Irma Hotel, and it's still there today.
To this day.
So if you go to Cody, you have to go to the Irma after you go to the museum and after Trail Town. But go to the Irma, sit at the bar, maybe have a beer, have a drink, and just look around. It's really there's a lot of history in there, and it's really enjoyable.
Cool. And the creaky floors.
And the creaky, Now that's kind of what we did in the town of Cody. Those were kind of the main attractions we did. However, outside of Cody wasn't bad at all either. We had a blast. We did a couple things we're going to talk about now. And one, Dina loves horses. So there's actually a wild horse what do you want to call it? Wildlife area. It's
yes,
BLM land.
Yep.
It's about 20 miles.
I was going to say sanctuary. It's not a sanctuary.
Yeah, it's just BLM land. It's about 20 miles east of Cody off of Highway 14. So you take 14 right out of Cody. It'll be on the left-hand side. Now it's 120,000 acres, so you're not guaranteed to see any horses.
Right.
We were extremely fortunate. We pulled right in and we saw three horses.
Yeah.
3 horses within the first, few hundred yards.
Got
so we got really lucky. But what most people do is when you get onto the land there's like a 6-mile drive.
Right.
So you're going to drive back north, I believe it is, for 6. It's a dirt road. It's or gravel road. It's bumpy. Take your time.
Yeah.
It's only 6 miles, but there's wild horses.
Yep.
There's pronghorn out there. You could see elk.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to see, and just the views are just
the views are unbelievable.
If you don't see any wildlife at all,
it's still a beautiful drive.
But again, it is bumpy and rocky, so you're going to want to drive slow.
Yep.
Take your time. But again, bring binoculars.
Don't forget your binoculars.
Yeah, don't forget your binoculars.
In case the horses are off in a distance.
Yeah. It is free.
Yeah.
So it's a great, you probably do it in a couple hours maybe, depending. If you see the horses, I'm sure it's going to take longer because
you can get out of your car. However, if the horses are near you, you're not supposed to get more than 300 feet.
Yeah.
Close to them.
Yeah. So again, they are wild animals, so you do have to be careful with that.
Darn it.
Yeah.
It really was really cool to see the horses. I'm really glad we did.
Oh yeah, we were
very fortunate to see them, and it was really cool.
Yeah, and we saw them fairly close.
Yeah,
too,
we did.
So it wasn't bad at all.
Probably as close as we could get.
Yeah. So the last thing we did in Cody, I won't say the last thing. This is something I really enjoyed, and I think you did too.
Okay.
The Beartooth Highway.
Oh.
Right?
There was nothing like it. Okay, it is known as...
It's the American highway, or most beautiful highway in America. Now, normally when you hear something like that, it's like, yeah. Right, buddy, sure. Not in this case. This highway was amazing.
It's so true.
Now, we couldn't do the whole highway because remember we were talked earlier about those floods in Yellowstone. The Beartooth Highway kind of goes from Cook City, which is the northeast entrance to Yellowstone, up to Red Lodge.
Yeah.
I believe it's about a 70-mile drive somewhere in that ballpark. I say it takes about a couple hours to do it, but from the peak or the Beartooth Pass to Red Lodge was blocked off still because of construction and road work, so we couldn't do the whole highway.
Right.
However, we could go from Cook City up to the Beartooth Pass. And actually, there's a little ski resort up there. We went past the pass a little bit to the ski resort, and that's where you had to turn around at. They say 2 hours to do the whole thing. Again, we didn't do the whole thing.
3.
We were probably
they say 3.
Up 3.
Yeah.
We were there for probably 4 or 5 hours and didn't even do the whole thing. This place is amazing. The drive up, the mountain lakes.
Yeah.
On the side of the road,
they look like glaciers almost. They were just
unbelievable. The views when you stop and look out, just
and the flowers,
the mountains, the
natural
amazing
landscaping with all the flowers that were in bloom, the purples and the yellows, and it was unbelievable.
It's one of those places that lived up to its name.
It did.
For sure.
Rodeo did not want to get back in the truck. She looked at me and she's like, "What? Are you kidding? Are you crazy?"
It was nice. Now the pass goes up almost to 11,000 feet above sea level. I believe it's like 10,900 and something feet. So you're up there a pretty good ways. Even in the summer, it's chilly up there. But
windy. It was really windy.
It was really windy.
Get a windbreaker or at least a jacket.
You're going to want binoculars. You're going to want cameras
and water.
And sunscreen. Now, if the lakes and the mountains and the scenery isn't enough for you, again, we were blessed when we got to the ski lodge where we had to turn around at. There was probably 20 mountain goats up there. So that was pretty cool really as well too. We got maybe within 100 yards of a bunch of mountain goats. They had some little babies. They were all running around in this field and stuff.
And Rodeo wanted to play with them.
Yeah, Rodeo.
She was crying because we wouldn't let her. She didn't understand.
Yeah.
So fun.
Beartooth Highway, unbelievable. And then when we got done with this drive, we went back to Cook City. Again, that's on the northeast entrance of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
We had lunch there. Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
Beartooth Cafe.
Beartooth Cafe.
Really cute. We sat outside.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That was kind of interesting itself.
Yeah.
Cook City is
very small.
I wouldn't call it a city.
I know.
That might be.
I would call it a city. It's a very, very small town.
Yeah, it's
rustic.
I don't think there's a stop sign in there.
Cool. I don't think
there was a stop sign, and there's probably just a dozen buildings and all.
Yeah.
But it's kind of neat.
Very cool town.
If you're going to go into the northeast entrance of Yellowstone, you're going to go through Cook City. I would highly recommend just stopping there and having lunch or a drink, and just make sure you sit outside, because the mode of transportation in Cook City are ATVs and side-by-sides. There's not as many cars. I think they outnumber cars 3 to 1.
A lot of the dogs are riding in ATVs.
Yeah, or just loose in town.
Yeah, just
cool little
just neighborhood dog, friendly dog.
Just a cool little town. Very, very friendly people.
Super friendly.
And lots of fun. And to top everything off, from Cody, we were able to get into Yellowstone. Again, we had to go into the east entrance of Yellowstone. It's about an hour drive or so. Yeah. But we did, the main loops of Yellowstone, Hayden Valley. We got into Mammoth Hot Springs. We really, really wanted to get into Lamar Valley, which is the northeast part of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's where most of the wildlife was during the summer months. That was closed off again because of some road work and the flooding. So we couldn't get into Lamar Valley, which was a disappointment.
Into a couple places which were a disappointment, but we did enjoy what we did see.
This was,
our first time in the summer.
Yeah, first time
ever seeing Yellowstone.
And it was different.
It was really different.
A lot of colors.
It was beautiful. Yeah. It was really pretty.
It was neat. And we did see some bears.
We usually go in the fall.
We saw some bears. Of course, we saw some buffalo. Saw a few out. Not as many as we normally would. But you can't go wrong with Yellowstone.
No, never.
So, Cody, Wyoming, 2 thumbs up. It was a great plan B.
Yeah. Beautiful. Really, really stepped up to the plate. Totally unexpected. Totally blew us away. We did not expect it to be as much as it was, and we are so grateful. And if you ever get a chance, check out Cody.
And we left out one piece of this. What's the name just south of Cody? Do you remember the name of the town just south of Cody? Metis?
Oh, Metis.
So next week's video, we're going to talk about a little town called Metis.
And if you ever seen a bumper sticker that says, "Where the hell is Metis?"
You know why.
Yeah, you'll know why.
It's smaller than Cody, I think. But one of our little adventures we went on while we were in Cody started out of the town of Metis, and we're going to talk about that next week. And I think this was probably one of the funnest adventures we've ever. Funnest? Most fun?
Most fun, but most...
Yes.
Yes. Whatever. All of that.
Anyway,
it was so much fun.
That will be next week's video.
Yes, definitely. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really, really appreciative that you have spent your time with us. We really look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week. God bless.
And please join us on all our adventures. We love sharing these with you. But remember, always live life to the fullest.
Take care.